Dave, did you find Westworld season three's premiere as satisfying as you did the new Pope?
This show sucks.
Well, okay, so we are known Westworld haters. So they're really like rebooting this season, right? And
Which I
it's
respect.
yes, I totally agree because I think our main criticisms are the stakes of this show seem incredibly low for how high concept
I
it's
would just
going.
like to know what they are. I
Right,
don't even care
good point.
just care what the stakes are. I just like to understand exactly what they are.
Right, and I guess maybe we I guess this premiere sets that up a little bit more. Um, they bring in a lot of new people to this. We don't even see um, some of the characters from last season. I think we expected to see in this premiere, like
Sure.
Tandy Newton. And I'm trying to remember because I don't even remember a lot of what happened in season two. I think I wiped it from my memory, but
Yeah.
Tandy Newton is conspicuously absent. It's a lot of um, following Dolores around as she's Terminator esque in this, and it's like
Yeah.
really like an action pilot, so to
Sure.
speak, or a reboot of a show. You have Aaron Paul as this like down on his luck, trying to like make ends meet, like hitman or like gun for hire kind of, or I don't know, bank
Yep.
robber for hire, who's obviously dealing with like PTSD in some sense, and uh, Kid Cudi is making this guest appearance as his like
Yeah.
old
His
war buddy
That's
who
right. Lena Waithe and Marshawn Lynch showed up.
yeah.
Tom Clementif was here. The Sons of Anarchy guy was here. Vincent Cassell, new character, wasn't even in this one. Yeah, a lot of new faces. Of course, Bernard, Jeffrey Wright,
Mm-hmm.
still here as well. But yeah, if I remember right, a lot of the other people like James Morrison, like a lot of those guys and Rodrigo, like they died technically for real, but they'll probably come back soon. Like, let's be real. All the actors re-upped for this season. That's no secret.
Right.
So they'll be back somehow. Who the fuck knows? Who cares? But I respect the reintroduction, I guess, of the show, and like again, changing the setting. We're outside the park, and I think it's really telling that when the season three trailer dropped, everyone was like excited as fuck for this because I think that's almost a acknowledgement that the first two seasons of Westworld, even if you liked them, I don't think they lived up to the expectation of the potential of that, Red Dead Redemption,
Mm-hmm.
GTA TV show that people kind of thought we were getting. Um, that being said, the show, once again, at least through this episode, is still playing everything super close to the vest that you just don't really understand like
Yeah.
what we're supposed to care about.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of my issue with season two in particular, because season two was like, you predicted some things. Jimmy Simpson and Ed Harris, you figured that out. Well, fuck you. We're going to make this really hard to predict now. You'll have to watch the whole season. That's bad storytelling to,
Mm-hmm.
to use the Redditors to drive the way you make your twists. Lisa, Noah and Lisa Joy, they said that this is going to be a more straightforward season. Some of the advanced reviewers don't necessarily agree with that, but obviously I'll still be watching because I'm curious. And uh, yeah, I just would like to understand what the point is, which is frustrating. And get Tessa Thompson the fuck off this show. It's a waste of her time.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson came in for one scene in this premiere, and she's fine. I didn't really find. I mean, I thought the action scenes were pretty good, but I didn't really understand why I was caring about this or what I was
Yeah.
watching. And
John
and I
Gallagher,
agree.
nice to see you.
Yeah, I know, right? I guess I'm kind of just left confused still, and I feel like that's the way I feel for a lot of the time when I watch Westworld,
Yep.
and I kind of want to stop feeling that way when I watch this show.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I also, so when I think back to like Westworld season one, I think a lot of it was like it's a very intriguing concept, maybe not executed fully, but like the idea of like what makes us human,
Yeah.
and when you have these like sentient beings or these sentient robots, like how do you really like where's the line, and what does it say about humanity? And I don't think they ever really like drove that home very well. I guess they try to do that with Ed Harris's character the most, and especially like flashing back to Jimmy Simpson and uh,
Right.
like the diva evolution of that character is fascinating. Um, but there's still something missing to me where I think I've never really gotten Dolores's character or really cared.
No,
You
they
know,
never commit
and
to
same
making her just a villain. I
it,
thought that was a missed opportunity last season. Make
right.
Dolores the actual bad person when she like breaks, you
Mhm,
know, but they won't do that. She's still the hero. So maybe Aaron Paul brings a new dynamic with them
mhm,
connecting. Certainly should be a new dynamic. Hopefully that changes the focus. But yeah, I mean, as you're saying, like think of episode season 2, like Kitsuya,
mhm,
the Riddle of the Sphinx episode. I forget what it's called. When they the Peter Mulan episode as well.
mhm,
When they focus on, like you said, the humanity and like the more existential things that are so right there on the surface, right there to be explored, it's much more compelling because again, this is a show with an unlimited budget and an amazing cast, and that's great. The problem is that the show doesn't seem to actually care about that as much. They're more concerned about this really meandering, again, hard to grasp plot. Remember all the platitudes Anthony Hopkins would share with us as Ford, right? And
mhm,
like,
mhm.
none of that landed.
No.
And that the Kitsuya episode almost was as close to the show gets to like a more procedural bottle episode.
Mhm,
And I'm not saying you need to like deconstruct your narrative, but I just wish the narrative was more concerned about, I think, the things that people find interesting. Because right now the characters are hard to invest in because we just don't really understand what they want or why it matters. So the general, this aura of confusion still is with the show, at least through the season 3 premiere. So it's ultimately, I just find it frustrating because this is HBO's now. This is their prestige drama. This is their go-to thing. Thrones is gone. Veep is gone. This is their big thing, and I
mhm.
just want it to be better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I want to see them really shift to focus on other characters. The Dolores Bernard dynamic, and I guess they're not really a dynamic, but them as like the two central figures hasn't gripped me. But I do think Tandy Newton is a very interesting character, and Tessa Thompson, completely underutilized, and maybe flesh that character out a bit. I don't know. They introduced a lot of new people, so um, maybe Aaron Paul can inject some life. And I did think Aaron Paul was good. It's
Yeah,
hard for me to look at him and not see Jesse. It's just kind of like one of those roles, I think, where he's so synonymous with the
it's
character.
like
But
futuristic Jesse almost. Still down on his luck,
true,
still food to
wearing those
mouth.
jackets.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Uh,
that's cool. And if this season's just more of like we're in a sci-fi future setting, just doing shit. I think it'll at least be entertaining. I just again would just like to grasp the narrative better.
yeah. I feel like maybe a direction they could take it if they do kind of keep Bernard and Dolores as like the two central characters is just kind of like Bernard having to stop Dolores, who's like this like Terminator like character at this point, as we saw, and like Bernard having to like accept his like lack of humanity. Like you kind of saw him beat the hell out of
Yeah.
those guys, and them facing off could be really interesting, especially a different role for Jeffrey Wright, who's usually this like sly kind of like understated performer. Seeing him kind of play up might be really interesting, but we'll see. I think this is probably there's some interesting elements. I'm a little bit more intrigued than usual. So
Sure.
maybe some positives for Westworld. Um, Dave, I saw you tweeting about. Did you get any hate on that tweet saying it still sucks?
Yes, I did. One person said, "Hold on, okay, dummy."
There you go. Okay.
And then friend
Well,
of the show, Kai, said, "Why are you lying still, Dave?" So I got ratio one
uh,
like two replies.
jeez, doing some big numbers.